Hey, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I didn't want to wait too long between feeds, but I am having a few things go on right now that, and my next guest isn't here. So I was going to just I don't know. We can play for a little while, but I think I've got a little situation going on with my Airbnb that I'm trying to get somebody else to work on. So real life is happening today. It's kind of awesome, and you know what? I'm really adoring keeping the feed going all day. So if you guys want to come and play and ask questions, I'm happy to do some facilitation. I want to, I don't know, I'm really having a lot of fun with you guys. So, but I'd like to keep this like really an open, free form hour and give Anne a little bit of time to show up. I know we're just like 5 minutes past the hour. So, if she'll come, that would be great. One of the things that I really would I love and would really love to play with is more embodiment and really getting our bodies in alignment with our goals and our dreams and what. So I wanted to open the floor and ask you, is there something that you are actively working to change in your life? One of the things that I've been studying is something called essentials and essentialism. And I tell you, it's kind of awesome because essentialism is really about asking and opening the door and making choices around those things that you really, really would love to change in your life. And some of the essential things required for you to take action to change that in your life. And one of the things that I've been putting off and not changing is I have this like hip flexor psoas injury that has now affected my leg. And I was telling one of my friends, I was like, it's an irritant and it's time to change it. And we were really looking at, well, what are the essential things required to create and craft more of the life that I want to lead? And so I have now made a PT and doctor's appointment for it. And I'm really going to work with some practitioners to make some changes on this. And I'm wondering, sometimes it's like something that we just put off. And in energy work, when you just put it off in there, it just gets like more and more stuck and seeming to be unchangeable in there. So I'm wondering if you would be willing to share, and we can play in this hour until Anne shows up, or if she doesn't, we'll just play for a little while and then we'll come back at the top of the next hour and talk with Holly. But I'm wondering if you would like to do some processing and really look at what is essential and what would your life be like if you focused a little bit more on those things that would essentially create change in your life versus just living your life, coping your life, managing your life, stressing about this, stressing about that. And I wanted to see how you guys wanted to play in this hour. So, Aunt's here. So we'll go ahead and I'll introduce this topic to her and see if she wants to play in that way. And she's an expert on distressing, so we'll go ahead and go in that direction. Hi, Anne. Can you hear me? I can. Fabulous. I couldn't see you, so I was like, so I didn't see you in the staging area, so I was like, well, maybe she's not here. So yay. Right. No worries. So I'm going to put you up and introduce you. So, hey, you guys. So this is Anne, and she is, you look so beautiful today. And she is really an expert and a coach in helping people lower that vigilant system, de-stress, and really create the life that you want to lead. And did you hear me talking a little bit about looking at the things in your life that are really essential? Okay, well, I will say it for just, and maybe we can go into it and see, we'll just kind of follow the energy and see where it leads.
Sure.
But I said that it's one of the things, like, there's sometimes simple things in your life that you ignore or neglect. And one of the things that I've been putting off is I had a hip flexor type psoas type of injury, and I really need to go to a PT. And I've been putting it off for many, many years. And it's like actually affecting how far I can walk, right? I can walk like a mile and it starts to hurt. I'm making that like an essential in my life, that I actually actively invest time into it. So it's just kind of one of the choices that I've been playing with in my life. And I wanted to see if you we might want to start there. We might not. I'm going to open the floor to you and stop talking. And would you go ahead and just briefly introduce yourself and your work, and help people really understand how's the best way to start with making changes around in your life, changes around stress, and I'll give you the floor.
Okay, well, thank you for having me, Jeneth. And I'm Anne, and as you probably guessed, I live in the UK, and I have been a women's life coach probably for a couple of years now. But my background is in social work. So I was a social worker for a very long time, over 20 years. And my whole journey kind of changed a little bit, like, in some ways, like what you were talking about, which is around about 7 years ago, when I guess it's a similar thing where I was almost like pushing down all the things that were overwhelming me, really, thinking I could just keep carrying on and keep carrying on and keep carrying on. And I think it's almost these days we seem to live with this sort of incredible level of stress, really, that we perhaps wouldn't have done, probably, I don't know, 20 odd years ago. And I think particularly women, I think we think that we're kind of indestructible. And sometimes we almost have to be pushed to a place where we actually stop, that we let go, and we kind of almost make ourselves have a break. And that's very much my story, that I was in a place with a lot of things happening to me in my life, a lot of very difficult, traumatic kind of personal things, as well as a very stressful job. And I think what happened is my mind and body just basically said no more. And that was when I had quite a serious breakdown. And, I'm very much now, I'm sort of so keen on helping women, particularly, not have to get to that place, if at all possible. And, and actually to try and recognize when we're sort of nearing sort of that, really. And obviously the sooner the better, really, because I think it then takes quite a long time to recover. And, I want to be able to inspire people to say, don't do necessarily what I did, but sort of almost learn those kind of lessons to a certain extent, isn't it? And just share the things that have helped me, that have worked for me, that have really transformed hugely my life, my mindset, and and definitely my ability to manage stress. And I suppose the first thing that I will always do with clients is very much almost like get them to kind of step back and almost like see their life and the things that they feel that are just overwhelming them, almost as an observer, and almost do a little bit like an inventory kind of concept around asking, you know, certain questions and actually kind of trying to kind of step back from everything, because when we're in it, it's very difficult to then see, you know, the wood for the trees, as it were. And this is where I think, you know, a coach or someone who can kind of look and help you look from the outside in is really helpful.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite questions to ask?
So yeah, so it's like it's very much like a so it's the idea of that, trying to think about what is the main thing that you really feel is draining you at this moment in time.
So guys, can you type in what the main thing that you think is draining you is? That's a great question.
And sometimes it's I mean, you know, I teach a lot about, you know, obviously one of the things around sort of like connecting to your intuition, and we can lose sight of that. We can lose sight of our heart because we're too much in our head. And sometimes I think when you answer those questions, often it's that first thing that pops up. Do you know what I mean? That it's about then trusting that actually that is often one of the really important things. And that takes time. That does take effort. You know, I haven't learnt. I mean, meditation and such things were completely new to me probably 3 years ago. But it's amazing when you do start that. And almost this is one of the things I'm really passionate about, is like that we have all the answers inside us. And I think sometimes we look for other things particularly to kind of solve them for us. And actually what we have within our heart and within our soul, and it's just sometimes being able to connect and listen to what those answers are.
I 100% agree. But you also need a facilitator often to facilitate it out of you.
Sure, absolutely. I think you're right.
To facilitate is so beautiful. Yeah. So we've got a few answers here. Do you want to expand?
Yeah.
So 2 people said family, future, and then lack of sleep.
Right. Yeah.
So where do we begin with that? Like, do you want to take one of the topics?
Yeah.
So for corporate job.
So I think when you identify that the sort of main cause of your, I guess, stress, overwhelm, lack of energy, feeling really drained, etc. It's about then maybe kind of going into that in a little bit more depth. And this is probably what I would do as a coach, is almost like then ask people to kind of expand on that, you know, and what does that actually look like? What is the kind of main issues connected to that, if that makes sense, around perhaps in the day-to-day life, you know, how is it presenting? Does that make sense? So, you know, perhaps with your family, when is that really coming up for you? Who, you know,
exactly.
There probably is somebody specific, perhaps. There's a probably specific situation. How? So it's how is that manifesting?
Right.
And then I guess it's a little bit of a deeper process around looking about why. Because I think when we start to go deeper inside, and that other person helps us to kind of like question each answer, it's about getting to the root usually. And sometimes that's not the thing that we think it might be.
Right. And then really having the courage to make changes around it.
Yeah. And another one of the things that I do, which is almost part of this, a bit, you know, sort of stepping back, is to kind of almost notice. So spend perhaps 3 days looking at your negative thoughts, because this is something almost practical, I feel, because although I'm very much into the soul and the connection, and I'm also very real, you know, as I say, I was a very negative, practical person, probably until about 3-4 years ago. And I still feel like that I like things to be in context, and I personally like to feel like I'm doing something, if that makes sense. And so what I ask people to do is have a little notebook or something and actually notice when you hear these negative thoughts. So it's like the little inner critic. As soon as there'll be certain things that happen throughout your day that you're not even realizing. We do this without even noticing most of the time. But when you're actually starting to think about, okay, so we've kind of already,
we've addressed this in another one of the conferences, by the way, almost exactly. And I really had them, really take it down to, the energy, and what's the energy that really started this, because it's really hard to watch all our thoughts. But no, we love that practice, really, taking a good look at your life, really, making some changes. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the awareness, isn't it? I mean, for me, very much again in the work that I do, it's about, if we can start to get some awareness, and sometimes that is about just almost like being an observer of your own life, sort of without it, because we don't realize how much we get so into our head, like I'm saying, so kind of so engulfed and overwhelmed, and actually just deciding, okay, and not judging. So that's really important as well, which I'm sure you probably spoke about, that because I've had women that will notice that they've got these negative thoughts all the time, but then they start beating themselves up because they've got them. And that isn't what we're doing here. We're just noticing them.
Yes. This is really practicing zero judgment and total acknowledgement of what it is. I love that. What a beautiful practice.
And then also looking at what patterns emerge, because I think if you can do this over, say, a 3-day period, you will notice there will be particular times perhaps when you do have more negative thoughts, or critical thoughts of yourself, which often this is what it is a lot of the time. We often spend a lot of time just criticizing everything, or putting ourselves down and not believing. Well,
the rest of you do. I was like, this is exhausting me. I'm done. About like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, totally. And again,
it's the only thing I'm saying.
And but again, it's like, and sometimes, okay, that might feel like overwhelming, can't it, a bit much? But again, it's like, well, let's just start by seeing if we can reframe those thoughts. And I've learned an awful lot. I don't know if if you know Gabby Bernstein, who's one of mine.
Adore her.
She's amazing. And her book was literally, I believe, completely changed my life. The Universe Has Your Back. And it was really her book that started me on my own journey. And the one phrase that I love so much that helped me such a lot was, I choose to see love instead of this. So you've got the negative thought and it comes up and you're saying, oh, you're rubbish, that's no good. What do you think? And then it's about almost physically thinking, no, stop. I choose to see love instead of this.
I love that. Do
And I remember,
okay,
sorry, I was just going to share that when I was in the early stages of this myself, I remember it's in the car, and it's interesting, I've had a few other women say that almost like when you're in a sort of quiet, where you haven't got so many distractions, and I remember these thoughts coming up. It was anxiety, because that's been the thing I've struggled with. And I remember desperately going, I choose love instead of that. I choose love instead of that. It was like,
how long do you think that you did that before you really noticed a change around it?
Yeah.
Was it, I mean, how long do you think it was before you noticed a shift?
Before I started to shift?
Yeah.
I would probably say, I mean, I've done quite a lot of work on my own. I've done work with coaches. I hugely believe in coaching. I think as a coach, you know, I still need coaches, you know. I would probably say that I could start to make a shift probably about sort of 2 months, something like that, you know. That it's very, you know, it's different for everybody else. I mean, I was a lot of the time starting on my own, and then when I started working with somebody, I found that helped me quicker. You know, that was when I started. But it's that consistency, isn't it, which is another huge thing that we struggle with, because we kind of want answers quickly. And although we can have that, and it does, and things can shift very quickly, and I've developed techniques to help me and my clients with that. But so much of what we do is so ingrained. And for me, you know, I'm 50, so I've had a lot of years of this negativity that I've had to start to kind of reframe. So yeah, I think to me, it's about being consistent, and it's about having those tools and techniques. So when you feel yourself slipping back, which we all do at times, we've got that ability to kind of stop ourselves and kind of reframe and reshift.
Yeah, no, and I think that is kind of the practice. It always starts with awareness, usually through the question, and then it moves into, you know, requirements to change and shift, either energetically or very much tangibly. Like, is there somebody I need to address to change this? I know that you practice with crystals and all kinds of things like that. Can you talk a little bit about, or take us through a meditation or an activation that you found to be really beneficial as far as awakening and awareness?
Well, I've brought that's slightly sorry. I got my my visualization, but as far as so an awareness, I've kind of found a sort of connecting to my heart meditation that I've used that has helped me hugely, which is around kind of centering yourself and actually almost sort of visualizing your heart sort of expanding, and the sort of the sort of warmth and the glow of your heart kind of like getting bigger and bigger, and that's helped me hugely around when I do that, which is quite a sort of short process. I tend to find that my intuition is heightened, because I found, and one of the crystals I love to do that as well is rose quartz, because that's all connected to the heart chakra and the heart space. And it's even the days before I believed in any of this, I've always loved rose quartz. So so I may hold that as well, or put it to my heart. And one of the things I recently found out about, actually, that our heart is something like 50,000 times more. It's got more than our brain. I can't quite think of the word.
No, they recently did a study like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's
Electromagnetic field. That's it.
okay.
Which was like, oh my gosh. And then it kind of makes so much sense when, like you say, you sort of drop down from your head into your heart. And that's something that, you know, that practice has helped me hugely. And then almost then you become more open to then to be able to gain the awareness, if you see what I mean. Because we can often be quite closed off because we're frightened, we're in that fear place. And it is about slowly maybe opening up your heart to actually be able to receive what you need to hear. And that, you know, again is the start of any kind of almost transformation process in my head, you know, around believing and sort of opening up your whole body, soul, mind to kind of know that the answers are there.
Yeah. Well, I know we were going to do a visualization on really saying yes to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took, I'd had to go hunt down what it was exactly called. Do you want to do that now?
Yes, that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
So what I love about this is that this is another powerful process of re-energizing you. So, you know, this is something that you can do when you've perhaps gone from your awareness phase and then you've perhaps moved, you know, through the process of letting go, and then this is almost like the re-energized phase. That's the way I see it around a process that I work with. And I love this because after it's got an amazing kind of it's got a really amazing energy, and so this is something that, you know, if you're feeling a bit low or you're struggling, you know, a little bit there with feeling a bit down and fed up and thinking things aren't moving or shifting quick enough, this is a great way to kind of get you onto that path.
Fabulous.
Okay, so is it all right if I just have to read it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, take us through it energetically and do what you do. Do what you do best.
Okay. So it's called the Energy of Yes visualization. So what I want you to do is close your eyes and you feel your body relax and let go. You take a deep breath and then let it out at your own pace. You feel all the tension pouring out and away from you. Your thoughts from the day disappear, all worries and stress are left, and you feel them pouring out and away from your mind, spinning out into the air as they disintegrate in a wash of sparkles. A light streams down around you like a shaft of sunlight, and you stand in this warm pillar of light as it softly washes over you, glimmering, and it clears away all the debris in your thoughts, emotions, relaxing, releasing, and letting go. This light cleanses and purifies everything it touches. It moves through you, sweeping away any tension and doubts, pressures, and anything else that you might be trying to bring into this. Your forehead relaxes under the light, gentle touch. Your jaw loosens. You feel your neck let go as your shoulders drop down as you continue to breathe deeply in and out. Your chest expands, letting go. Your abdomen releasing, settling in. You see yourself standing on a wide golden road, the wide road of yeses. You've found this wonderful road and you've been on this road before and it's always been there, but before it's been blocked, but now you're moving forward on this road. The road feels so warm, so positive and sunshiny. This road is the road of yeses, where everything always works out. It's the easy road, the most direct path, and the one that reaches the fulfillment that you are looking for. It says yes. What are you looking for? Yes. All good things you can ever imagine asking for are answered here with yes. You feel this yes energy begin to pour and spill out into your life, in every area of your life. Areas where no's are now being filled with yeses, big pouring bucketfuls of yeses. Yes, we can open the way. Yes, we can give you that. I want to help you. Yes, I choose you. Yes, you're the one. Yes, I'll make that easy for you. Yes, I'll help you reach that. Oh, yes, that's easy. Yes, you deserve that. Yes, you can take that. It's yours. These yeses spill out over into and everything, and they rise like a radiant light out of the road, a blizzard of golden feathers, leaves falling through the air. You feel the ease of this, saying yes. You say it to yourself, yes. Yes. What an open energy, what a free and expansive energy. The energy with no resistance. Is there a way, I ask? The answer is yes. There is always a way, but are you open to it? Yes, you are. Yes, you're open to it. You want it. You deserve it. Yes, you do. You're overwhelmed at the strength of the yeses, and you realize that the strength of yeses completely topples the strength of no. No is weak. No is restrictive and tiny, but yeses are big and bountiful and huge. It's all like love moving through everything, never a barrier. Yes is strong. It's the power of spirit. It's God. Yes is the path, the best method and the best answer and the best results. It's all here in the yes. And I choose yes. I choose it now. Yes. I choose easy. I choose direct. I choose it now. I am open. Yes. 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 I take it. I accept it. You feel as if hundreds of old ropes are releasing you and untying themselves, detaching all those weak no's you've had in your life, all the restrictions, all the negativity, the obstacles, all those weak things, they melt off and away, untying themselves, loosening and freeing you as you burst forward, walking more strongly now on this road of yeses. You are connected here now. You are flowing. You are counting one yes after another in succession. One yes leads to another. All paths leading you, leading you. You feel a wave of yes energy wash over you. It's a soothing wind, the warm light, the sunshiny scent of summertime. Your energy finds the best for everyone, and it positions those yeses in front of you. You can't not have them. You can't avoid them. Even now, you are walking down the road of yeses, and then no matter what, they will always be there. There will always be another yes for you. You smile, feeling the ease of this completely and wholly centered in your yeses. Everything in your life from now on will be so much easier than before, so much easier on this rolling hill of yeses. It travels on, and there's never a reason to get off. It's easy and direct, one right thing after another slipping into place. You walk freely, you walk openly, you walk without resistance. Oh yes, I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. You keep saying thank you. Yes, thank you. And with this energy just bursting from you, bursting through you and all around you, and everyone else is affected by the yeses, you are choosing to return to your daily life, knowing you've just changed direction. You've just altered course, Oh yes, that's where you're meant to be. 3, 2, 1. Eyes open in the world of yeses.
Wow, that was beautiful. My gosh, that was so, so beautiful.
It's
It kind
amazing,
of
isn't it? You know,
it's like
I feel energized, and I've just been reading it. You know,
it was so energizing. It made me want to go, yes.
yeah.
Everybody who feels like yes, yes.
Yes, yes, that's what we need to do now.
I think that what I really got out of it was there are so many places that we automatically in habit habitually say no.
Yeah.
You know, all those areas you were addressing, we were saying no to in some way. And that, oh my gosh, right? Because now I feel like all bubbly yes inside.
It gives you that sense of optimism and the belief in yourself, isn't it? That you can do this. And that's such incredible energy and mindset, and something that, you know, it's interesting as we're talking about this, it's something that's come over for me looking at social media more recently and some Facebook groups I'm part of. And such an overriding feeling is that people want to make changes, but somehow they don't think they can.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's the whole nother discussion, but it's almost that, you know,
no, I agree. That is kind of an inherent thing of this culture, that you know, we run and hide, and oftentimes we're hiding from ourselves. We're, you know, hiding out so that we're not seen or judged or, you know, made wrong. I think that's the biggie. You know, yet we continually make ourselves wrong, so we don't say yes. Yeah, that's, yeah, when I say it that way, it's really quite a shame that there is so much in our world that is, you know, like just not flowing.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
and we are such our own worst enemy. And I think this is where, when you sort of almost decide to do this inner work, as we're talking about, isn't it, through all the different people that you've shared, and you know, coaching, and when you go out and do them on your own, it's so important to see how it can make such a difference. You know, and that you can suddenly start believing in yourself and know that you have got that capability. But it's you're right, there's such a lot of resistance that stops us.
Yeah, well, you know, in our very first call today, we talked about control, you know, and I think that there's two kinds of control. It's us, you know, being locked in this programming that keeps us controlling, you know, ourselves from really, you know, being, you know, from choosing that yes. You know, we're so programmed to be careful and choose to not, instead of like choosing to say yes and make your mistakes and fail and get dirty, right? You know, we'd rather just not even do it. You know, sometimes we pre-conclude that we're just going to fail and it's going to be a mess, so we don't go there. Yeah. So can we put that prayer in the box, in the package with your other program?
Yes, of course. Okay. I mean, I've actually got it. So I recorded this on it's a meditation. So I've got it with a background music. So cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. That can, that's not a problem.
I would love that. Oh my gosh, that sounds so great. I love that. Yeah. I feel like that alone, if you would just do that every day, your life would change.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you're absolutely right. And I think that I mean, I love visualization. I mean, I love meditation, but I like the combination of both, because for me, I'm a very visual person. And again, I totally believe that we can all visualize. And when you have something that's sort of almost expressive, it makes it tangible, doesn't it? It kind of makes it real, and it makes you feel like it's achievable. Do you know that's how it helps me,
right?
Because it's connecting your feelings, isn't it? Your emotions, everything. It's taking over your whole. Again, it's that connecting everything, isn't it? As you say, and allowing yourself to flow. You're absolutely right that.
Yeah.
It sort of inspires you to realize that we are a very powerful being, and our mindset is, it's huge.
It's everything. Yeah.
So no, I'll send that to you, Mel, if it's not a problem. So yeah,
cool.
People are very welcome to take it, because I love it, and I think if it helps, then that's great.
It does. It is amazing. So you guys, another awesome thing that we just added to the box. So Anne, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what's in what you offered us for the box, because I know it's got some crystals, some juiciness like that.
Yeah, so what I've done is actually again it's a mini video series, and I guess it's a little bit kind of connected to some of the things we've been talking about around sort of reprogramming. It's a ritual. There's three mini videos, and it goes through, and it's using crystals. And it goes through a kind of a ritual process, which has got a lot of, it's got the a mantra and affirmations that you need to do on a regular basis. And it's one of these things that if you can do it over a sort of 21-day period, you will notice the difference, because this is, I guess, what I was talking about around trying to do things for a period of time, because it definitely helps. But what's also involved in it is that I make my own crystal intention. This one, you can see,
love it.
This is different chakras, but this has got a positive energy bracelet for you to wear. And what I love about crystal bracelets is that it's like the anchor. So it's something that you see every day, and it reminds you of what you're kind of focusing on and what you're trying to do, and the different crystals in the bracelet that I've made. So that is literally, so that's free. I just charge the shipping to get to you, but the bracelet comes free with the mini video series. So cool. Yeah, so the idea is that you use them both together.
I get tattoos for that reason.
Oh, is that your thing?
Yeah, that's been my thing, like to remind myself. It's funny, I had met a woman who down her arm, she had tattooed breathe. And I was like, ooh, I need that, right? Yeah. And she actually had some sort of lung cancer thing that she had to have removed because she was actually couldn't breathe. Yeah. So it's like a dual purpose. But I thought that was like a really great word to just remind yourself, hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Stop, isn't it? Yeah.
I've been really into breath work lately. I really, sometimes you think that every day anyway, you don't realize how great effect that they can have on how your brain works and focus. And I mean, you discard it because it's so simple. With visualization is simple, so we don't do it enough.
Yeah.
So powerful. Absolutely. And that was really powerful. Wow. Yeah. No, I feel all lit up now. It's great. All right, you guys. So you've got the link to get the box. And thank you guys. It seems like purchases are going crazy today. So I thank you guys for starting to really choose it. And wow, this has been really, really fun, Anne. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think you know, I think it's like the connection with people. I think it's really important if you want to work with somebody, and you know, I think we very quickly feel. I mean, all my coaching is done online, but I can immediately tell, even though I'm not, you know, connecting with somebody totally in person. It's amazing how we can still, you know, connect and feel a kind of affinity to somebody, or an ability to feel like we can help them, or that we would, you know, be able to work well together. So you know, for me, one of the biggest things is about trusting that person, and that doesn't come overnight, and you know, and we get that, you know, get that completely. But again, you know, it's that, I suppose, again, you know, one of the big things for me is that believing that you're worth the investment. And that was what changed my life, you know, actually realizing, actually, yeah, I am worth that investment. You know, I know, I mean, I'd had counseling, I'd had a whole cycle of different help. And it was when I chose coaching that things suddenly changed for me. And again, I think that's, you know, why I'm very passionate about it now, because for me, it's a positive solution, where I think sometimes therapy can be very, you know, just go round and round in circles.
Yeah, yeah. You know, sometimes you know, sometimes I'll work with somebody and they just want you to share instead of actually make a different choice or make a change, or, you know, we use in my work destroy and create that construct of energies, or those double binding type energies where you make associations. And then when you ask that, will you destroy and uncreate? Like, really, it's like breaking the bond. And it actually seems to really break the bond for good. And it's really, really, I mean, that's been like the one thing that changes. And I think talk therapy is good because it brings up awareness, right? Yeah. But I don't know that they actually like really put it on you. Will you change this?
Yeah.
And coaching, I mean, I've had some great coaches that have been like, you know, why are you choosing this? You know, and they will like put you on the spot. Like, look, this is your results. Like, this is what's going on. How is that working?
Yeah.
You know, and when you actually are held accountable in that way, and it's shown to you right in your face, you really do make another choice and choose. And do you want to give your website? I can type it in the bottom here, and those of you that might be ready for a coach, and you sense that Anne is the one, then go ahead and give your website.
Yeah, so it's very simple. It's just www.annebird.com. So that's Anne with an E, BIRD.com.
It's not AnneBirdCoaching.com. It's just Anne Bird.
No. So I'm Anne Bird Coaching on Facebook and Instagram, but my actual website is just AnneBird.com.
No kidding. How did you? That's a great one. Although I have to admit, I have Jeneth.com.
Oh, really? Well, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I was a geek and started out way in the early. I snagged that domain name, so you know, I got lucky. Yeah. Sure. Well, Anne, thank you. This has been so much fun. I can't wait to like listen to the prayer, the yes prayer over and over again. That just sounds so delicious. So, you guys, if you want to re-experience these through the free pass, this is available for 24 hours of listening and replaying. And if you want to get the VIP, then you can have this session and listen to it over and over and over again. That's all 25 interviews for one price. And there's some bonuses I'm throwing in there as well. bonuses. I just keep asking. So, great. Thank you. You guys, our next session is with a girl named Holly, and she's I think you're really going to enjoy her. It's going to also be a coaching call, so we're going to kind of do some facilitation together. So we'll start at the top of the next hour. And thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.